guys, and welcome to another video. So a bunch of you have asked me, how do you make your notes, or can you show us what your notes look like on, on Instagram, you've been messaging me, or on the student room itself. And so I thought that would be quite helpful because I know lots of you are revising now, and so note making is quite essential. I think one thing I'd like to say is that different notes work for different people. Like, there are certain things that you'll notice that my notes don't have or do have, and that's purely because it's like tailored for me. So I think I'm just gonna give you a few like tips and like things that I personally find super helpful, which may or may not work for you. So right now here I got my biology folder, and I just have some biology notes from just like before a test I had last term, I think it was. And so this is on DNA replication, such fun. And so I'll just show you what it looks like. Cool, I don't know if you understand any of that. If you take biology, hopefully you can recognise some things. But yeah, the sorts of things that I like to do for like when it comes to making notes is I usually use my textbook first of all, or like even though I make notes in class, usually I just don't use them, which probably isn't that good. It means that all of the like classwork is like a waste of time. But yeah, no, I just find using a textbook or using online, there are a bunch of websites. I think websites that I usually use for biology, there's one called School, which is like, instead of like CHOOL, it's like school as in like cool with an S before it. That's quite good. And also there are like bunches of websites which already have notes on it, or just have loads and loads of past paper questions, which is brilliant, and I definitely advise you to use them. But yeah, so I'll use those kind of resources and I'll have them all laid out. And so for example, I've got like the title DNA replication here, and then one of the main things, like the beginning sort of phases of DNA replication, is the fact that it separates. And so I've got the word separates here with a bunch of like lines coming out, and you probably noticed I used red pen, which I don't use. I'm not like particularly like strong. Like, I know I have some friends who are like, these kind of words have to be in this colour and this colour and all of this, like they go into like loads and loads of detail. For me, I don't really use that. Usually when it comes to red pen, I usually just use it when I'm things like, those are kind of keywords, key phrases, and it's as if like when you're marking a paper, which are the words like and phrases that are going to get you the marks, really. That's what I see, because I think the red hopefully, I think kind of just stays in my mind. And so like when it comes to the question, I'm like, oh yeah, this one I need to include, and this and this and this. I suppose I like to use diagrams sometimes. If I know that it's something that I won't understand just by words, a diagram can definitely help. I would say don't spend ages and ages on diagrams. Make them simple, Notes are not meant to be word to word, lots and lots of like word, don't make it in too much detail. Make sure you have the relevant detail that's needed to get you the marks, but at the same time, you're not copying and pasting from the textbook. That is not the reason you have notes. If that's what you're doing, because I have some friends who literally just do word to word. I'm like, that's not helping you. You might as well just be reading their textbook. Like, that's not the reason. For me personally, what I like about notes is it's basically just a condensed version of the textbook, and it means that I've got all the relevant like information that I need in a way that I really understand it. And for me, I think writing notes as well, it's kind of going over everything that you've been taught and just making sure you really understand it, because sometimes when I'm writing something, I'm like, I don't understand any of this. Hint, hint, go and understand it. And then I'll watch a couple of videos on it, or I'll look further into it, that kind of thing, do some papers and see if I really understand it. I like my arrows, I won't lie, I like to do a good arrow. My arrows are terrible, they don't look like arrows, but they are arrows. Also, I like, I can't remember I can't remember the name for them off the top of my head. But when you're like remembering, say, like the colours of the rainbow, and you've got Richard of York gave battle in vain, that's something that's like continuously like, stuck in your head, because it's just something you went over and over again. And then when it came to DNA replication, for the different phases, like you have interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. And all of my friends, I remember we were like, I have no idea how we're going to remember that. That's just not going to happen. So what we like to use is like using like the first letter of each of those words, try and come up with some kind of like funny saying or something that's just going to be stuck in your head. And so we got, in Paris, monkeys are tired. Super duper random, but I feel like the more random it is, chances are the more likely it's going to stay in your mind. And I still remember going into that exam, and I did quite well in that exam. I'm pretty sure I got an A. And as soon as I got in, there were bunches and bunches of questions on mitosis, on like DNA replication, and so I just remembered, I was like, yeah, well, in Paris, monkeys are tired, so, and I just makes things very easy. So things like that, I find, all like rhymes, you know, things that are going to help you remember things, definitely use them. What else do I do? I see my notes are like fairly simple. There's not really much to them, I don't think. I usually just put the title of the overall like topic or like subtopic, and just draw little kind of spider diagrams with the relevant information, red pens for important details. I don't really use highlighters that much because I'm like, it's a lot of effort. I think one thing you will realise, my notes aren't particularly neat. I don't think so. You know, I had some friends who are like super duper neat. But what I do find is I will probably, hopefully, be reusing notes when it comes to like end of year exams and my actual A-levels. Whereas I have some friends who they will have to do a whole new set. And for me, I'm just like, I don't really care. I've got the notes, I'll just reuse them. You know, I'm quite lazy like that. So, you know, that's one of the things where it's like, it works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. It's really about finding out what's the best for you. I'm gonna find another biology kind of set. Let me see, did I do notes here? Maybe I don't have notes in here. Oh no, I do, I thought so. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I spent like hours making notes. Yeah, so this is for a test I did recently. I also got an A in this, which was quite good, because I did like so many past paper questions. Like literally, let me get it out and show you. Okay. From all of this, I don't know if you can tell, but this is like a lot of paper. It's at least like 20 pages of paper full of past paper questions. I got my A in the test in the end, so yeah, definitely use them. But yeah, these are my notes for that exam. As you can see, they're not particularly colourful or anything like that, but it's just got the relevant detail. And you know, I think that's sort of what mainly matters. Some things I do find, like for example, as you can tell, like here, I've got lots and lots of information, but it's purely because I know that I need that much information, and I know I'm not going to remember that off the top of my head. So having that information is super duper helpful. Or let me see. Or like something like this, I did use like different colours to try and like get myself to remember it. So this is like a structure of proteins. And yeah, so for these, diagrams were needed. Like there were certain sorts of like, I can't remember anything off the top of my head. But yeah, you know, there were certain sorts of things that I needed to know. And so, yeah, some things, if it can be simplified, I'll simplify it. If I feel like I need to know the whole thing, I use the whole thing. Also, if you take A-level biology, you'll know there are a bunch of tests that you need to realise, like testing for proteins and carbs and sugars, all of that good stuff. So I've just done like a really nice summary table here, which is really, really helpful. And so what I did, actually, which I would definitely recommend, I made all my notes, that I did some past paper questions using my notes, which you might be like, well, that's just cheating. No, it's not. It means you're picking what it is. And then because I had so many past paper questions, once I did like a quarter of them, most of the time the same kind of questions were coming up, and so I didn't need to use my notes. I had it up here because it was just in my memory, and it was brilliant. So yeah, that is pretty much everything. I hope this is a helpful video for you guys. Yeah, so that's basically my notes. That's how I use it. They're not particularly colourful. I don't spend hours and hours on them. I just get the details down. I might use a red pen or two and draw a bunch of diagrams, but it seems to be doing the job. So yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to comment them down below on this video, or you can tweet them at _ManishaP, or comment them on the student room, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, feel free to like this video if it helped you, and subscribe to the Student Room's channel for more cool videos, and don't forget to check out my channel at Bit of a Fangirl for more cool videos. And yeah, also my Instagram at Bit of a Fangirl, might as well put it out there. So yeah, I shall see you guys sometime soon. Bye!